Hi, so I've already done one tutorial on YouTube for Forza Horizon. I did a tutorial for Goliath, and I decided to do another tutorial. Thought I might as well for the other longest track in the game, Red Rock to Dam. Now for this tutorial, as you can see, I'm going to be using the Radical because this is the fastest car I've found on this track. And basically I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of how to post a good time on this track. Now, most people tend to use the Ferrari F50 GT, the Maserati, the F40C, the Radical, the Zonda C or the Joss on this track. But personally I find the Radical to be the best because although its top speed isn't all that good, it's got very good handling, very good brakes, and it's very quick out of the corners. Now for this first section of the track, you want to basically use your brakes more than you would on most cornered tracks. Brake early for the corners, don't use too much braking, just about half your braking power in a car like this because they've got very good brakes. Let the car just cruise around most of the corners and then just power out at the end of the corner. Don't put your power on too early for these Red Rock roads because you'll just end up ploughing into the wall. Now for this section, just keep a straight line basically, or as straight as you can through that S-bend back there. And basically for this first set of corners you just don't take it too fast. If you try and go too fast you'll find that you end up hitting walls and losing time. Now with the Radical and also with the F50 GT you want to be careful of going on the dirt and going over bumps in the road, that kind of thing. But there aren't that many bumps on this track, but there are some which if you take them on the wrong angle you will end up flipping the car or smashing into a wall. Now on this straight section obviously the Radical's got quite a significant disadvantage in terms of its top speed. Not so much of a problem for the Ferrari, but I still prefer using this Radical. For this section here by the golf course you can just go flat out, you just have to tell yourself that you can. For this part here you want to try and avoid those signs, like I just didn't, because those signs will reduce your top speed by a couple of miles per hour, and in this car you don't really want that. This corner can be taken pretty much, well, yeah, flat out in the Radical. In the Maserati and the Ferrari you might need to drop a bit of speed. That corner wasn't taken as good as it should have been, but it'll have to do. For this section you want to be careful because that bump in the road can send your car off into the left or into the right and smash straight into a wall. Make sure you don't hit that inside wall on that corner because that will waste loads of time. For this corner here you have to tell yourself that you can go over to that part of the corner without hitting the tree, because sometimes it does look like you're going to. If I was going to give only one piece of advice about driving or posting a good time on Red Rock to Dam, it would be to not do what I just did. That would be a good start, but what I was going to say was to tell yourself that the car can do more than you think it can do. Especially this is the case in terms of the Radical. The Radical is a very underrated car on Horizon, not many people use it. I will be honest and say that this is the only track that I use the Radical on. And although this lap isn't going to be anywhere near as fast as if I was driving without doing a commentary, it'll have to do because obviously this is a tutorial. Now for this corner up here, you have to tell yourself that the car can take it at full speed. Now you want to slow down for that first left corner there, but you really don't need to. Not only in the Radical but also in the F50 GT. Now for this corner you want to cut in early on the grass, don't give it too much throttle. Give it throttle on the way out, otherwise the lighter cars will have a tendency to try and flick the tail out and spin around. Now for this section here, which is also part of the Mountain Run and River Run track layouts, you can pretty much just go flat out in whatever car you're driving. But for this part here, where there's the notorious bump in the road, you will need to be careful. Although that didn't look difficult there, what I just did, sometimes if you do land on a slight angle, it will flip your car into the wall, basically. This corner can be taken flat out in pretty much any car. And for this section up here, this can be one of the more difficult corners because you can't actually see the corner. But once you learn roughly where the turn-off is, or not a turn-off, but where the corner is, you will get faster on that section. This part's fairly obvious on how to do. Just make sure you cut in early on the corners to cut straight across the apex. Don't waste too much time. Don't accelerate too early because that will also waste time. These corners are fairly easy. I don't really need to explain anything about these. Careful on this corner, because if you end up on that dirt section there on the left, you can flip your car. This corner can be taken a lot faster than you expect, even flat out if I wasn't doing a tutorial. For this corner you want to slow down a little, cut in nice and early, otherwise you'll end up hitting the wall. Brake early for this corner, cut in, and you can basically go full throttle out of that corner. Try and keep it as straight as possible through the S-bend, and then you won't waste time. Flat out through there. You've got this long curving left-hand corner. You want to brake sort of late for this corner, give it about half throttle and then full throttle out of the corner there. For this section here, there seems to be quite a few kinks in the road, but just keep it as straight as possible. For this section you want to brake a little bit early, cut straight in so that you avoid the inside wall there. That is a corner where you can lose quite a lot of time if you get it wrong. Coming into this bridge section here, or tunnel I should say, you want to brake a little bit early, cut in, don't give it too much throttle, slow down nice and early on the hairpin, get on the inside, not too much throttle again, power out. And for this last corner here, you can, well, in the Radical you can go pretty much flat out, but in some cars you might need to ease off the throttle a bit and across the line. Now for me that was a very slow lap. My best time is 7 minutes 1.5, but for the purpose of a tutorial it'll do. Thanks for watching.